Good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome to NFT Live on the Web3 Network. Gifted's coming in here from the high ropes. Thank you for that, sir. We are having ourselves a great time. It is the first NFT Live post ETF approval. That has to be like a date. We gotta start doing PEA. Not BC, not AD, PEA, post ETF approval. Nice to see everybody in the house. We're gonna have ourselves a great time here covering all of the happenings here in the last 24 hours. I got a great group of co-hosts up here. Huda, Biggie Poppins, Gifted. Let's go around the quad box. Nice to have the quad box back, by the way. But Huda, let's start with you, man.
Yeah, it's been a minute since it's been the four of us, so this feels good. It feels right. I love it. But yeah, things are awesome, man, and I like that we're going to define things post-ETF because it's different. Everything has changed now. I hear people saying that ETF, the most significant moment in the history of Bitcoin, other than its inception. Fully agree. I'm curious what other people think, but it is that big of a deal. I cannot wait to see how the NFT market reacts to it, and it is already starting to react to it. So just good stuff all around. Let's get into it.
Yeah, love to hear it. Biggie Poppins, what's up, brother?
Dude, happy Bitcoin IPO day, right? Like that's that's the way I'm defining it. Yeah, I still think it hasn't settled in for a lot of us that have been like hoping, praying, trying for this. I almost feel like I filed for these goddamn things myself.
Facts.
But yeah, man, I'm stoked, dude. See what this post BTC IPO. But you can't take the pedal off. You can't take your foot off the pedal. I'm ready for ETH ETF and everything else that follows. Yeah.
I'm glad we zoomed in there because you have an interesting shirt on there, sir. I want to show off a little WJPEG radio.
Yes, sir. Shout out Quantum Variant, one of our most beloved and longtime listeners. I'm a fan, great artist, great person, just great around all human being. Support your homies. It's a great show. You guys should tune in. And I dig the shirt, right?
Yeah, it's actually like punk rock era there. I love that. All right, welcome. Let's get a little bit of a drum roll here. Welcome back to Gifted, our Web3 Sherpa, the Goku of Ethereum.
That was so cringe, but thank you.
And all of the show.
Thank you for the cringe. Yeah, this is day one PE. Post ETF. I like it. I like it like BE and PE. So yesterday would have been day 0. Today is day 1, PE 1. And that's pretty crazy. I do think that this is a momentous moment, and it's great to be back sharing it with my favorite people in the space. Of course, I'm talking about all of y'all out there and these people up here on stage. So smash the like for them and for yourself for being here, because truly we front ran the entire financial system on a new asset class. And that's an amazing thing to be able to say. Wild.
It is, man. And I'm glad to have you back. I know everybody was taking their time off and trying to rest and recharge because it is going to be a big year. I mean, we see it across the industry, NFTs, DeFi. Obviously, the larger cryptos are moving right now, but it seems to be a big year for everybody involved, every sector.
Well, Q, I had to come back to collect on my bet.
Got it.
So
can you link me? Can you link me the BasedAF NFTs? Because I almost drained my whole wallet trying to find these to give to you. This bet was made, I think, 6 months ago. I would say, if I had to time it right, that's like 25 years in crypto time. We took the bet that the ETFs would not be approved. And it was took that bet. It was and look, I took it because it was a win-win for me. If I win, what were you gonna give me, a BasedAF NFT?
Yeah, it was for BasedAF NFT.
So if I won, I was gonna get a BasedAF NFT. If I lost, I was gonna have to give Gifted a BasedAF NFT, but the space would have the Bitcoin ETF.
Hedging that bet, yeah, that's smart.
See what I mean? There you go.
Winner.
So yeah, Gif, if you could hit me with that link, definitely I want to bring that up on the screen. Also, another thing I'm going to bring up very quickly on the screen now that we have Gifted back as well is the not financial advice advice feed. Can't wait for this.
No, I mean, what if y'all has to have figured out how to do this by now, right? I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one that can do the NFA disclaimer.
I don't know if that's true.
People speckled away while you were gone, man.
Oh god, that's not good.
Got multiple court court.
People weren't paying attention to the old handy dandy. All right, look, don't speckle. We're not financial advisors. Yada yada yada. Even in the PE world, it's the same as BE. Okay, there's one law that does not change. Spot ETFs, regardless of spot ETFs, it doesn't matter.
He's
There's
rusty,
only one law.
folks.
There's one law that you should not break, and that is to not speckle. And yeah, all right, do your own research, whatever. Yes, I'm rusty. Yes,
I see that. We'll get you back in the swing of things. Here's today's episode, by the way, folks. We do have a lot of breaking pieces. Bitcoin ETF officially being approved. We actually have like 2 or 3 different commercials at this point that are being displayed to the American public about these ETFs. So we'll get into that here in a second. I want to get into a Bored Ape Yacht Club and Moonbirds kind of discussion. I know both of these are like very, very in a precarious spot, I should say, having been like OG projects that are now in the limelight for more negative reasons. Bored Ape Yacht Club actually had an updated trailer on that Otherside trip, so that was good to see. Elon's role in crypto, potentially we can get to. I know that was a topic on GM Web3 that you wanted to hit GIF, and then we're going to go around the alt chain space as well. Each of us kind of have gotten our hands into some other pieces, other sectors, and other chains. So want to get into that as well. I got Age of Dinos happening yesterday. What's up?
Yeah. I meant to hit on that. We got VGF over here in the chat. Shout out to you. Pixel Vault is something that maybe we can check in on. I know a lot of people have been enjoying that. But the one other thing that I forgot to mention that I'll just throw in here is maybe we can cover it, is a big congratulations for the based heads, BasedAF, because they like raised a bunch of money off of Epic Games. They got a grant from Epic Games.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we got let's hit some quick news up front, man. We got some quick, make it quick, but yeah, let's hit this.
I mean, that's it. You pulled it up right there. Proud to announce BasedAF is an Epic Games mega grant receiver. So I don't even know like how big of a grant that is, but I mean, it's Epic Games.
And it's a mega grant. They refer to it as mega grant.
Not just a grant.
Shout out to Supermassive and the team over there that have been absolutely killing it. You know, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. They're just making phenomenal content, and I don't think there's another studio out there that can accomplish what they're doing. So I'm just glad they were embraced for all their hard work, and I can't wait to see what they do with this mega grant, you know?
I agree. And we've been, I think, the first network ever to follow what they were doing and promote them. But also, Biggie.
On the metaverse.
Biggie, I agree with everything you're saying, my guy, but I'm not going to lie. Your blank walls behind you are really fucking with me. We got to get you smart. We got to get you smart on those walls, my guy.
It's an improvement.
You were in your coffin, GIF. I was sent to the basement. No, I'm kidding. This isn't the basement of the house. It's a new house. I'm sorry, not a new house, but new room that I get to have all to myself. And this weekend, I think I get my green screen Huda. So I might have to reach out and get some help from you. But I'm gonna set this puppy up over here, and then oh my god, I'm gonna have so much fun.
Dude, our guy needs art behind him. You have. Why do you? Doesn't look right.
Yeah, why do you need a green screen though? When I know you've got so much art.
I know
Biggie.
I know you've got so
much art, bro. What are you doing?
I'm gonna. That's the debate me and my wife are having right now, and it's like I like the idea of the green screen because I can like flip it all the time and troll you guys or have some fun. You know, like I don't plan to be like Huda and be consistent with his really cool backdrop there. By the way, I like the idea of kind of doing the news anchor thing and just throwing stuff. I don't know. I've never played with a green screen before. I'm excited, but. My wife is on your camp. She's like, no, we need to fill it with art. Maybe we can do both. We'll see.
All right, we're going to get into today's episode really quick. I'm dropping the NFT Live X link so that you guys could potentially support us. That obviously helps if you guys can go over here and give it a nice little like, nice little repost, a comment. Any of those things help us get more folks into the show. Also, if you're sitting over here on YouTube, you guys can leave a like. That would be awesome. DP Felipe Goncalves. We have Video VGF, of course, Cats Fanatic, Jack's Hideaway, Christian Jensen, Squashman, SP, Nox Darkness, all of you showing up here early. We just pressed live here on NFT Live, so excited to get into the first day PE post-approval here. ETF approval at least. So yeah, excited. Let's get into it, guys. The first thing I want to bring up that I had posted was this VanEck commercial. So we are in this, again, post-ETF world. Let's check in on how VanEck is showcasing their ETF to the general public.
The world
if it's Matt Damon,
old ways until it can't. When Bitcoin was born, it broke that endless cycle. It's not a defiance of finance. Bitcoin may help guard against the government devaluing your money. Finally, you can buy and hold Bitcoin in an ETF with the VanEck Bitcoin Trust, HODL. Search the ticker HODL in your stock trading app today.
This is wild, bro.
They just took a shot of the government.
Do you sense this like power struggle that's going on? Like this is a really, really big deal. A really big deal.
Yeah, for those of you that weren't aware, I don't know if you're under a freaking rock, the Bitcoin ETF listings basically got approved. We obviously had that bullshit happen with Gensler getting hacked and all that stuff. We're not going to touch on that today, but via a vote of 3 to 5, this Bitcoin ETF, these Bitcoin ETF listings have been approved. Also, the volume is the most we've ever seen for, I love what Quantum Variant said, a drop. An ETF
drop.
Yeah. So most volume, I think it was like 2.2 billion. Like it was like $1 billion within 5 minutes. We'll go into some of this.
We are reinventing the financial system in real time. Like understand that like our culture is now becoming the innovations that are being adopted by the traditional financial system. They named their ticker HODL. So like Quantum Variant's right. Use the term drop. It stuck. It makes sense. And they're going to be adopting all of our fucking terms from here on out because they all realize now that this is where things are going, that you can't drop the tech.
Investment account today.
Yeah. But Gift, does it sit well with you that the guy that's like in the commercial looks like Jason Bourne, like a hitman? Like, shouldn't he have been wearing like hoodie? You
all
know?
right. Don't
like,
complain about that, Biggie. You're the one that complains about complainers.
It's fair, but to be honest, I am a massive fan of spy franchises like Jason Bourne, James Bond, or Mission Impossible. I'm actually working on my own IP on the side. That might be going in that direction.
Yeah,
so
Gift wants to know what he's wearing so he can wear it.
The fact that he looks like he's some kind of like international cyber spy or something, like, you know what, I'm cool with that. I don't mind that. But look, who to put his thumb on the thing that like we've been talking about, but I especially been hitting on for a while, and that's that what's been on the surface that we've been like sort of covering and most people are just reacting to day to day is this insanely bipolar bifurcation of the conversation around technology, where you have Rolling Stone talking about your shit's fucking worthless and dead. You have Gary Gensler and Jamie Dimon and Elizabeth Warren saying this is all for fucking fraud and, different types of terrorism and all this type of shit. And then at the same time, you have crazy stuff like the financial system adopting it and Larry Fink going out there calling crypto a flight to safety or quality. Sorry, he said crypto is a flight to quality. And so we've seen this ridiculous fucking bipolar, again, bifurcation of the conversation going on. And what's underneath that is absolutely a war for the future of control of finance, of money, of the internet, etc. That's what is happening. And so like Huda just kind of summed it up there, and his reaction to that is like, yo, there's some crazy stuff happening. There's a war happening. There's a bunch of crazy shit happening behind the scenes. Dude, the fact that Gary Gensler was one of the votes for is such a weird part to this whole fucking tale, man, because, now he's going to use that as his plausible deniability. Yeah, it's his plausible deniability to say like, no, I was the one that made it happen. I was always for it. Like, but
same thing like
a lot of that,
teaching a class on crypto. It's going to be the same thing. Dude, damn well he wasn't teaching shit in that class other than what he was pumped in by his interns. And he was saying he was teaching about cryptocurrency.
But he was basically, I think, strong-armed just like the whole, like the banks, everybody's being strong armed into this at this point.
Yeah.
By the Larry Finks, by the money, by the finance people, the people who understand that like they are about to miss the fucking boat. I don't know, man. There's just so much to try and like understand and wrap your head around. But the battle for the future of like innovation, money, technology, and control over the systems is huge.
Yeah. I'd like Huda's take here on this as well. I do want to point out, this is from Eleanor Tourette. She, I think, is a journalist here for Fox Business. You can see here's the official approval, and this is the vote, right? So Hester Pierce, which I'm going to bring up her statement here in a second, voted for. Gensler actually voted for, and Uyeda voted for, and we had 2 dissenting opinions there. So I want to get your take on all of this here, Huda.
Well, I just got to say, it actually scares me when I talk about that power struggle, because you know the lengths what powerful people are willing to do. They're willing to do anything to remain in power. It legit scares the shit out of me. Like probably a year or 2 ago, chatting with my brother, I'm like, dude, I mean, like this is something that somehow, some way could lead to wars. And I don't know what that looks like, because this is not a thing about borders, but I think it's that serious of a power shift. To me, it's that big, it's that important, and it is that significant of a power shift that it does worry me to some degree.
That's a fair point. Also, Marty McFly is saying he wants to see your hair from the back, but Marty, that's where the party is. You got to pay extra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
only Biggie gets to see it from the back.
Sheesh. Wait, pause, I think, actually, for that one. All right, guys, you guys have been fantastic to start this episode. Almost 30 of you folks here over on YouTube, and we've got a bunch of people watching on X as well. So you guys have been rocking it this month as we get started in 2024. This is a great start for just the crypto industry in general. I will bring up that there were a bunch of opinions around what the ETF approval would do for Bitcoin's price. People thought that maybe it was already priced in, as well as on the Ethereum side, what it would do to the price, and the NFT side. So real quick, I will show off, not in dark mode. I don't know why I'm a psychopath here, but Bitcoin, what's going on here? Bitcoin is 46,461 buckaroos right now. Ethereum is 2,600. So that's where we stand right now. They did have a bump up. I think Bitcoin hit 47 at one point. So yeah, the market responding favorably. The NFT market responding not so much on the positive side. There were some standouts that actually had a bump here over the last day to a week, but primarily all of the larger collections saw a majority hit, presumably for people that are trying to chase a lot of these like coin plays, these fungible token plays, and get out of the maybe more illiquid NFTs and chase this run.
Mm-hmm. Careful.
Any takes?
Careful. I think that's the take.
Break that down. What do you mean?
I think that we still, again, I'm gonna sound like a boomer here, but we still have inflation to deal with. We still have tax season to deal with. We still have some potential known swans that can pop off any moment, drive a wedge into our celebratory. Don't get me wrong. This is bullish for the space. I'm bullish for it, but I'm just saying, and if you do decide to long or short or do some type of play, just be careful. Stay away from leverage. I think this is a moment where you just want to watch and see, at least for somebody of my character.
Time frames.
Yeah, exactly. I do think people need to watch out. I was in a recent drop. We were all waiting for the crypto undead, like an opportunity to mint, right? And everybody's talking there. And it was right when the first fake out happened with Gary Gensler. And I guess there was a kid in there. I don't know. You never know if this is true or not, right? But some kid was having a hard time because I guess he levered long and got liquidated. And, he's still in college. And it's like, God, man, how the fuck are you making these plays right now, bro? Who told you that was a good idea?
Dude, those stories are gonna come fast and furious. Unfortunately, again, like we do our best to try and educate around this, and
that's why we're here, right?
Caution, and yeah, it's literally why we're here. But the truth is that there's gonna be so many people that come in that that go crazy, and again, the financial tools are gonna be insane. In this next run, it's going to be so much more developed. There's going to be so many different ways to get liquidity or leverage on the most risky fucking plays of all time. Yeah, man. And it sucks to know that like there's going to be a bunch of those types of stories of people that got caught up, that were young, that were inexperienced, or that were just like gambling out of their fucking minds, that got completely fucking wrecked.
It's wild to think we're still really early. We are like really, really early still. We're a decade away from this actually maturing, right? At that point is when I'll start thinking, okay, you know, maybe this is where things level off. But still, most of my friends, I don't have any friends. Most people that I know that know people, they don't have any Bitcoin still. So, you know what I mean? We're way early. The tech is still way early. Now's the time to still just be accumulating and hodling and waiting and being patient and smart, because patience in this space does pay off.
Yeah, survival. Jack's Hideaway saying, been wondering what Base Heads was up to. Quantum Variant is here saying the game is on. Marty McFly coming through with 2 comments. One of them I'm not so sure about here. BTC is ultimately to enslave us, though, but I guess we can pretend celebrity for or celebrate for a day. That
you know what?
Is a lot of mental
Where's your node monkey?
There.
Where's your node monkey? That's all I want to say.
But the other comment here, someone swept 18 squiggles and 10 punks. Yeah, 16 squiggles, 11 punks here being reported from Tyler. And what are they going to sweep next? But yeah, go ahead, Huda. Sorry about that.
Okay, I don't know if Marty's being serious or not. I don't, but Bitcoin is a very interesting thing. Like, I grew up in a very Christian home, right? And I'm not that anymore, but growing up, there's interesting stuff about Bitcoin that I think ties into some Revelations type stuff. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if Marty is completely kidding there.
Oh, please don't tell me there's like a Nostradamus quote out there, like talking about like an orange coin.
There's just no, actually, I wonder if there is, but all I know is there is something about that, you know, this monetary system that is completely out in the open. You know, we all learned probably at some point, you're not anonymous, really. I mean, you are to a degree, but it also is all public, all of your, you know, all your transactions. So there's just a little something there that gets deeper. So probably not for this episode, but interesting shit, man.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to hit that on a full episode take here. One of these days, because that sounds interesting. Maybe on Saturday, maybe we can jump into that. A lot of things to be covering here on the remainder, so we're gonna move on. A majority of the combo that I want to have left is going to be around alt chains and things that we're seeing. That continues to be the narrative. It will continue. I almost feel like a broken record having to explain it, but if you're not kind of getting out there away, maybe I don't want to say away from Ethereum, but you need to be experimenting with some other things, because that seems to be where the narrative is headed in the short term. But yeah, we're going to hit on some other quick news up front. Ordinals obviously is one of the pieces that's a part of this, and Oniforce, a primarily Ethereum-based collection, right? Like 100%. They've been on Ethereum since day one. They said new profile pic with their logo, and it has been changed to a curious color here. So what this means, I have no idea.
Everyone's going orange. Everybody is going to be on Bitcoin in one way or another. Why wouldn't you?
I mean, look, I don't know if ArtSnitch is watching. ArtSnitch came on GM Web3 this morning and shared a little bit more context, but I've also chatted with some of them. And look, I think that there's going to be some ordinals, that's going to be some kind of expansion, way to bring more people into the Oni ecosystem, but also reward holders. And I think that they're definitely going to tie their point system into it. So that's what ArtSnitch said. Make sure you're signed up into their point system. It's very easy. It takes 2 minutes. And yeah, and he also mentioned that it's likely something happening within the next 6 weeks. So it's not like imminent this moment, but it's probably going to be coming pretty quickly. Some big updates from them.
Yeah, volume kind of picking up here on the Oni side. Maybe that has a little bit more to do with where they're at on their price. Like 0.75 is on the kind of lower range of where they have been ranging. So maybe that has something to do with that. Maybe it has something to do with people kind of figuring out, okay, we're getting more ordinals announcements. I wonder what this means. So yeah, shout out to Oni Force. They're one of our favorite collections. We are both Ronins as well, so we got to do our part in getting the word out about the Enclave.
I like the bigger conversation around like what does the ETF approvals mean for ordinals in general. I don't know that I have answers or like where to really take it right now, but again, I've heard a lot of people like speculating that they think that ordinals or Bitcoin will become the biggest marketplace for non-fungibles. I think Biggie, you were pointing out like there's still a lot of problems with that actually logistically. Yeah. And yeah, it's part of the reason why I really haven't fucked with ordinals too hard yet, other than like just following it and trying to understand it. I really haven't invested there. I don't know, man.
All right, Crypto Elf is here. Screw Nostradamus. Okay, I like that. DP is saying, Huda's going to the Book of Revelations on us. Elf is saying Revelations is dope. And of course, Marty McFly is dead serious. Guys, Fanatic saying you have a lot of internet friends, Huda.
Our Friday, we need to make a really out there show, like a Revelations crypto fucking alien talk. That should be our Friday shows. Wild
we got a
4 Horsemen.
New channel for that. New channel. Not happening on the web. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about it post show here. I will say this whole conversation of potentially something happening with Oni on Bitcoin ordinals. 2 things. One, I've been hearing more about stamps from people that have been in SRC20s, these Bitcoin inscriptions. I believe I'm not off base there, but the ones that are actually not able to be chains, right? They're immutable. I've been hearing more about that than the ordinals. And I know ordinals has been on Magic Eden and they're heavily traded, all that stuff. But people that I know that have been in that ecosystem say stamps all the way. Huda, did you have something that looked like you needed something there?
I just think the stamps are interesting because even if Luke Dasher, gets his way and he's able to filter out these ordinal spam, transactions, those stamps are completely safe against that. Although Luke just took a big L yesterday, so he can.
And he will continue to do so, right? I think like that's the more probable result. I mean, miners are not gonna want to pass up the opportunity to just make a lot more money. So good luck with that, Luke.
All right, second piece to this is PIXE. So if you've been listening to the channel, we have good calls from time and again. So PIXE is going to be used to actually teleburn Ethereum collections to the Bitcoin ordinals ecosystem. Since we talked about them, I mean, all over the place, right? We've been talking about them, but we did catch the bottom here talking about them about 2 days ago to a day ago. So yeah, it's up to almost a cent here. So still, if you bought in now, you'd be buying in below me, catching that
a meme coin with that local utility. Top. Imagine that, another one, huh?
Wow. So yeah, PIXE over there is on. Again, this is not financial advice, but it is on Ethereum. Okay. A couple more things I wanted to hit before we jump into this.
So basically, my gay unicorns, if I want them to become ordinals, I have to get pixie dust.
First of all, why do they got to be gay?
Why? Just because they're getting their salad tossed does not mean.
Yo, what you tell me why. I didn't make the art. Go look at the art.
Why they gotta be gay?
Quit getting mad at me for pointing out that.
I mean,
like, what? They don't got
unicorns are
it's 2024 here, sir.
Okay, so everybody can be gay. Nobody's got a problem. I'm just pointing out that they're gay unicorns. Why is everybody mad at me for the obvious
just
observation?
Assuming someone's sexual orientation here,
bruh.
All right.
They are satisfied. Look at the smile on all of them.
These are
one-on-one.
Can I just say, I don't have the actual tweet, and I've referenced it multiple times here in like the last 48 hours. The tweet was essentially like TLDR. It was saying a lot of people are chasing the new flashy thing, and it's really hard to make money that way. What you want to do is actually take a calculated bet and let it marinate. And that, I think, is the hardest piece to do in all of this, because the guys on Solana made a ton of money because they made a calculated bet that this ecosystem was going to come back. And it was a tough road, I bet. It didn't happen overnight. And I think when I look at some of the MegaPixe pieces here, it's a marination. They have 3 total ETH in volume. We bought these 2 months ago, Biggie? Is that kind of the?
Yeah, they took 4 months to mint out.
Okay, they took 4 months to mint out. This reminds me, like timestamp this episode. I'm gonna keep it in my dialogue, but I bet 6 months from now this will not look like this, and it's because of that marination process. So interesting stuff, man.
I like it.
All right, I'm going to get to one of the bigger pieces on the NFT side before we jump in. The other side. So we have the other side trip announcement that got absolutely lambasted. What's up?
Can I just say my honest take is that it does worry me a bit that they can't even post a Twitter video without it being bad now, because like one of the strongest things about Bored Ape Yacht Club was that overall their execution was like immaculate. And yet now we've seen with multiple different big things that they've been sort of slipping. And all of this points to they expanded very quickly and there's not a lot of control. Even Gordon Goner being like, I've tried to reach out to the open, to the other side, other side team. And no, he said, I tried to reach out to the other side team to get a.
It was close. He just meant he was shocked they didn't say anything about it.
That's what he said.
That they were silent.
He's like, I don't know what's
okay, maybe he didn't say I reached out, but he's like, I was waiting for them or something, whatever. Yeah. The point is that there's some kind of confusion and people not executing well over there right now. Whatever it is, I think again, it comes back to the fact that they scaled very quickly. They lost something. Yeah, they lost something in the scaling, but to not be able to execute a drop of a video on Twitter without it coming off well right now doesn't bode very well, right? It just doesn't. It worries me. It honestly does.
And we had this discussion here about Bored Ape, kind of tongue in cheek, saying, "Hey, you know, they can't mess up anymore." Right, and it's Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like they can have a few missteps, but really after Heavy Metal and Legends of Tomorrow, like they're on precarious ground here. I cannot say it enough. The Bored Ape floor is at fucking 22 ETH right now.
That's wild. They'll fall below 20. They will. The thing is, it's like what made Bored Ape special was the culture, and part of the culture is tech savvy degens. A tech savvy degen would not have let that video happen, right? They know better. So for Illa to come out and blame it on Twitter, it tells you they lost the culture. They're not these techie degens like they used to be. They're like these cold corporate people now.
I kind of did a bad job at laying this out here. I wanted to give you guys the actual context. We haven't had another trip after that second trip into the metaverse that they're creating with the other side for a long time. I think it's almost been a calendar year, if not more, since the last trip. I need to get that under my belt, though. I think it has, because we did have Dookie Dash, and then we had Heavy Metal, and then we had Legends of Tomorrow. I don't think we've had a trip in between then. So other side released this trailer, and everybody just lambasted them for the quality and the FPS of this initial video. So you can see it's I think it was like some people were saying like 20 or 30 FPS. Not a good look, as Huda and my co-hosts are saying up here. They have since released an updated one. We did see Gordon Goner coming out and saying, not sure why the OS team still hasn't said anything, but this pissed me off and I looked into it. The in-game yada, yada, yada has looked good. So it was really... People put this out and they were like, why the fuck did this happen? Why hasn't other side said anything about it? And it took Gordon coming through from the outside, essentially where he is right now, for them to actually say something. Here's the updated post. They said on January 8th, so they tried to make light of this. They said on January 8th, we released Ape's Coming Home to celebrate its 2-day anniversary. We're proud to announce the remastered version. You can see here's the updated remastered.
I mean, looks phenomenal, but man,
you only get one shot to wow, right, Huda?
It's it's not what's in the video at this point that's the problem. It's their approach. Really, I mean, it just is.
Yeah. Look, can somebody roll back the tapes where I was making my predictions about the ape floor? Sorry.
Yeah, what was your prediction? What did you think?
No, it wasn't even a prediction. He made a calculated bet to sell the ape at 50 ETH and go.
But we also made predictions about how low it would go, and I said that I think that it will get as low as the low 20s. That it might actually dip below 20 ETH at some point, but stabilize above 20 ETH. We'll see, but it's It's almost there.
Yeah,
it's very likely.
It feels like something outside of Pudgy Penguins and a couple others. It just feels like this is a good transition into Moonbirds, by the way, because it feels like every older collection is in that category.
Yeah.
I don't know what the other floors were at the time that you made that bet, Gifted, but a lot of floors have been nuked since then.
This was a while ago now.
Yeah.
But somebody had a post. I'll see if I can pull it up, but basically just cataloging like the OG collections performance against like newer collections.
Yep.
Quick point, guys. When Luca came out and said the Pudgy Penguins were going to be the NFT project with the highest floor price, I believed him and I still do, because I think part of that equation, it's not that the Pudgy Penguins are going to, you know, reach 50 ETH or even 25 per se. It's that everything else was going to come down. And there would just be this kind of, you know what I mean? It would flip in a different way. And I think that's very, very realistic. Maybe Bored Apes at 15 and Pudgy's at 16 even. I think that's a scenario that could really, really happen.
I can't tell if with Bored Ape, it's tough because you can never talk good about them because that looks like you're fucking standing for them. And then when you're talking shit about them, it's like, and you're rocking a Bored Ape or a part of the ecosystem, you're like, why are you fudding your own bags? It's like, you're in a really bad spot. I will say when this flywheel goes in the other direction, it's going to go fast. Yeah. That, in my opinion, the flywheel will go very quickly. A lot of it is centered around whether they can deliver on the other side, though.
I found that post. It's whale.mocha. It's in the chat if you want to pull that up, because he's basically doing an overview. A Squash Man saying he dropped something in Telegram too.
Yeah.
So nouns, so nouns being struck the hardest. I don't know when was this post. This was today. So nouns 73% down. This is over the last 3 months. Moonbirds down only 13%. Naka's down 21. GCG wrecked. BAYC's down 7 in that time. So not really that well, but when you look at the performance of newer collections, that really just tells you how this space works. It's the new thing. It's the new narrative. Where is the money flowing? Where is there an expectation, or actually a lack of expectation, is really what you have to get at. So Biggie, go ahead, Gif, and then we'll go to Biggie.
I mean, you're hitting a little bit on it, like this. Everybody trying to chase the next thing, right, and kind of getting chopped up. I think a lot of people will actually end up losing money this way unless you're like one of the best people at it. And there's just such a lack of conviction, especially when there's been low liquidity. And it's this PvP shit that we've been seeing, man. This is one of the things that drives me nuts on Solana, is that it's always been like this, except times 10. And there's just no real conviction. Like, people try and hype you up and make you believe like, yo, this is the project. I'm this till I die. They do that shit. But then as soon as it pumps like one soul, they fucking floor it and they get on to the next thing. It's a fucking joke. And yet for some reason, people keep playing this game and pretending like they give a shit about art or any of the projects over there. And yeah, you've basically been seeing the capitulation on ETH as other things are popping up, as other ecosystems or tokens or metas come. Like, everybody's saying like, well, shit, I could use that 20 ETH. I could use that 5 ETH. I could use that half an ETH now to maybe go chase something else. It's tough, man.
Biggie, I want to get to you on the Moonbirds front. Did you have something on the Yuga BAYC before we do that?
I mean, I do, and it's a little bit similar to what I'd have for Moonbirds. Obviously, I'm not as well versed with Yuga or BAYC. I don't know. I don't know the figures. I don't know what they're doing other than that. I mean, I appreciate y'all's takes in regards to analyzing like the ecosystem, right? Like what it is right now. And I just shared with you right here in the private chat, Alexis Ohanian's take, because I think it's very pertinent to what you will see by the end of this bull cycle, right? I encourage everybody to go read it. Yes, this space is attracted by the promise of quick money and flips and shiny objects. And most of the people that come in here are not about the art, and they are not real investors either, you know? And the space, we call it liquid VC for a reason, right? you know, traditional VC investing or traditional investing in general, like you're locked in, you know, until there's a liquidity event, if there is ever one. And if you talk to traditional investors that about their first investments and which ones hit and how long it took for them to hit, they'll usually give you a time frame between 5 to 10 years until something. And obviously the majority of them fail. Having said that, I do think that there are some communities, some projects that have already withstood the bear market, that have already demonstrated to have a very sticky product or community. And in spite of what you may see online being lambasted or whatever, I think it's better to zoom out and actually try to analyze it in other terms than just floor price. I understand floor price drives a lot of the conversation in this space, but it isn't everything. And if you want to segue into Moonbirds, I understand.
Yeah, and I'd love to do that. The one that I love that you're bringing this up on the Bored Ape Yacht Club front, because again, that is their moat, the community that they already have, that is already I would say the best in the industry right now. The amount of apes that are in that community that make their, like, I would love for somebody to give me another community that's really up there with the amount of reach that Bored Ape Yacht Club has.
Crypto punks or squiggles or
but punks is punks is
Bored Apes is, it's hard to compete with, but like crypto punks is maybe one of the only ones that does.
But so he's going after a very different segment with a different approach, and I don't think one makes it the best over the other one. I think that's the trouble that a lot of people have and end up embracing, is this tribalism, or is like if Bored Apes succeeds, then Pudgies is going to go to zero, or if, you know, and it's just not the case, folks. I think there's a lot more to it than, you know, to building community. I know people, the minute they hear that, want to puke, and they're like, oh, this is like the biggest hippie kumbaya shit I've ever heard. But there's a lot more to it than that. I think that when you stick with a project long enough to really ingrain yourself in the culture, you realize that there's way more to it than meets the eye. And if you read Alexis Ohanian's post, you'll see what he means.
Yeah, I pulled it up while you were speaking there. The one thing, and then we'll transition to Moonbirds here, is that's the problem that Huda is kind of locking in on, is what you'll see a post that says, you know, Yuga's never been more disconnected, and then you'll see Jeff Nicholas saying we're working on it, or you'll see a post from Yuga saying we're going to be a little bit more communicative at the end. I think that post happened at the end of Q4 2023, and really we hadn't seen much. Like, it's this talk about we're going to do better, we're going to transition, and then it keeps falling flat on their face. That's the issue, and I think that's the last thing I'll say on BAYC.
Do you recall the moment, the time? I remember, I've been a Apple Macintosh person all my life. I remember there was a very long period, years, many years, where Apple was on the way out. And then Steve Jobs came back, got a cash infusion from Bill Gates, and look at it now, right? Like, storylines of these great companies, including Amazon, look at how many of them were liquidated, and they're like, there's these crazy stories of like a very few amount of investors, and when the .com crash happened, like, we're actually buying Amazon. Look at them now. I'm telling you this because the narratives and markets don't fucking go the way you want them to always. And the problem with liquid VC and crypto is that people don't have experience being an actual investor, don't really do the research, and they get shaken out so easily with the slightest fucking mishap. And I'm sorry, like, that's part of the territory that comes when you are building in public, and when you have a vociferous community that has access and outsiders that can easily manipulate as well to FUD. You have no idea how many people I've seen that were FUDding Moonbirds last month and bought one this one. You know, it's part of the space. It's part of what we're going through, man. But I think it's very clear. I can probably name at least 5 projects right now that I would say, yeah, they already survived one bear market and they're gonna survive more. You know, and why? Because of the team, because of their financials and like their war chest, and because they continue building. And most importantly, what Alexis Ohanian is talking about, they have a core community cockroaches that you will not fucking get rid of with FUD or anything, or the lowest prices in the world. You know, right now, I mean, honestly, case in point, coming to Moonbirds, right? I saw it on the screen, you know, on the feed like everybody else. Oh, 200 Moonbirds floored. Go to Blur. Go to OpenSea. Tell me how many of these birds are for sale. I'll tell you, it's less than 600. It's 550. That's 5% of the community doing this shit. And it's been the narrative since last year, since the beginning of last year. But the narrative has been, oh, they're going to zero. And yes, the floor prices have been obliterated. And yes, mishaps have been made. And there's very valid criticisms and things that are being course corrected as we speak. But I think it's very clear when you look at the amount of birds that are being traded and the one versus the ones that are nested, that there is a community there that remains faithful, bullish, and believes that this is temporary, man. And that, honestly, I've never been more bullish since this year. And I'm not telling you guys to go out and buy a fucking Moonbird, man. I'm just telling you, as a day one zero person.
So we got 15 minutes, Biggie. So we left in the show. So we need to get to the all-chain talks. On the Moonbird stuff, Kevin Rose was, I guess people were saying that he's even trying to sell the collection and his stake in it. And that was one of the FUD that I saw. I would love a very brief talk into what is happening with Moonbirds and where it goes.
You know, and the thing is, it's unfortunate, but again, it's something that's going to happen, right? When you have this level of access that you don't have when you do traditional investing and other things. Like, you actually get to sit there and talk with the founder and the builders and the rest of the community.
Kevin Rose is not trying to sell the collection.
No, no, he is not. He is definitely open to pivoting and considering other possibilities, including the possibility of him taking a back seat and having somebody else come in and take the lead and be the forefront. And I'm all for that, dude. Like, if that's what needs to get done. But you know, the problem there was that somebody decided to start leaking out this bullshit, right? And again, like what we were talking about, you saw an immediate reaction. So many people getting shaken out, right, out of their positions or whatever. And I understand, like, if you overpaid, you don't want to, you put a stop loss on when you entered. You do what you got to do. But hey, I mean, c'est la vie, right? Like, I don't know what to tell you other than, like, I don't know. It gets tiring after a while
to listen to it, for sure.
When it's people, you know, commenting that have never raised money, have never launched a business, have never built in public, and they make these massive threads explaining and telling you, and it's all just like a fucking collage of bullshit.
It's what this industry loves, apparently.
Yeah, but it's on you, Anon, to do the research, to go to Discord, to talk with people.
And Huda, you hop in here. Biggie, we gotta get them in here.
Let's do it.
Well, it just reminds me of Gordon Goner's famous response saying, like, I don't know, Tropo, why don't you launch an NFT project and make no mistakes or do everything right or whatever, right? It's like, yeah, most of the people have no fucking idea what they're saying or what it's like to be a founder of any of these projects, which is something that I've reminded myself endlessly when people try and come at me for the way that certain things have gone. Yeah, man. But anyway.
Huda, any takes here on the BAYC and Moonbirds front and what you're seeing?
I really don't have a comment. I think it's growing pains partially. I know, working with the crypto bats, that, man, all people care about is their bags. And when their money, when the value of their NFT is down, man, you are like enemy number one to them. It's really hard. You're in a can't win situation no matter what you do. Like, literally, no matter what you do until they're up. That's it. So I don't know. I don't think much of it. When these situations come around, I just start feeling so much compassion for these guys, because they're trying, they're trying their best. And yes, it's hard to do it perfectly, and you'll never do it perfect. But I don't know. I've started to really not like the way people pile onto these founders and leaders in moments like this. I mean, it's tricky.
Narrative and tokens, right? Like, everybody wants to have the Ethereum Bitcoin experience, right? I bought it at 2 cents and now it's worth 20,000 and I'm riding around in a fucking Lambo around the moon. Good luck with that. Good fucking luck with that. You know, like the people that actually were around then and bought Bitcoin and bought Ethereum at those prices, they weren't just fucking degening looking for instant generational wealth. They were, like Huda said, actual fucking techies, people that believed in and wanted to try something different. You know, like the people that are on Twitter, to me, I don't know, whenever I see these people ranting and putting this shit up, I imagine like a 15-year-old in his basement that just lost his fucking school lunch. You know, it's like, it's not the same. You know, I'm sorry. Like,
it's fucking Polly. It's the people like Polly. I've seen some interesting tweets recently about how a lot of mainstream artists, for instance, are still unable basically to enter into NFTs without their entire careers being threatened of like being canceled because of how toxic and awful so much of the space is, and that ultimately it's our fault, like not ours per se. Like we do our best to curate away from the negativity and provide, you know, what we think is good, helpful info, and not fixate on the drama and the nonsense too much. Or provide at least what we think is good quality editorial content that's trying to provide value and not just be rugging and like spamming people and just like shitting on people for engagement, like all that type of stuff, man. Unfortunately, again, the algorithms reward it, and a lot of people pay their attention to that. People what am I trying to say? Like they reward it with their money, with their time, with their energy, with their attention, etc. And so it is a big problem still, because the brand of NFTs is still extremely negative. Like crypto might have just taken a big step towards reinventing itself. You know, you've now got Van Eck, you know, with HODL and like saying like Bitcoin is the future, etc., to a whole new audience of people that are going to slowly have to be like, maybe crypto isn't just for scammers and you know, trafficking humans or whatever weird shit they've been telling me. But NFTs are still a long ways away from people taking it seriously and wanting to actually enter into this space right now, because it's honestly, there's so much bullshit and bullshit people that are highlighted.
The fact is that those people, and I don't know who I'm even saying when I say those people, but people will return to NFTs. At the end of the day, people want to trade culture. I don't know if that will be on Ethereum. Like, that's a big X factor to me, whether a lot of this trading is going to happen on Ethereum or the liquidity is going to go to other spots. But people will come back to trading these things. It's why they popped off in the first place.
But we need legitimate new artists and creators to want to adopt the technology too. We
got to move on to the alt-chain talk. Last thought.
Like we do need and want the Murakamis of the world to come in to NFTs. And his story is a prime example of somebody who adopted it, who is very bullish, who still thinks the technology is cool, but he's kind of just like, maybe, like, I don't know, like I'm kind of keeping it at arm's distance because of the experience that he's had in the space. But we want those artists to be coming in, and I think that unfortunately we're still a long ways from people wanting to come in.
All right, I'm going to move us into the next combo. We appreciate all the comments here as well. Squashman saying, dropped a tweet in the Telegram. That is a good take on Yugo. We pulled that up for just a moment. Nick Swerve is saying, you can't marinate rotten food and expect it to be magically edible again.
I differ.
Orlando.
I think American food is basically that.
Orlando Newman saying resilience,
fucking hot dogs,
conviction, and your knowledge within that culture lays a solid foundation for future value. And Squash saying facts, Biggie, and then X highlights and rewards those type of negative posts as well. All right, I'm going to move us into this next combo. We're basically going to hit on a couple more quick news, and then we have to touch on this all-chain stuff before I shut down the episode here. Huda, I don't know if you caught this. You're great on those 5-minute updates there in the morning that are featured on Crypto Slam and all this pieces. But Age of Dino basically shut down the Ethereum network. That's how you know we're in a bull market, by the way. We're getting mints that shut down the network. But Age of Dino basically minted out, I believe, their 2x mint price at the current place. It's like a strategy game. Again, it's on Ethereum. Did you catch any of this? I wasn't really following Age of Dino at all.
No. I learned about it this morning when I knew they were doing hot yesterday. I knew they were the cause of the gas thing. So I go to their website, and yeah, it's a dinosaur strategy game.
Backed by Binance, I believe.
I mean, cool. Like, cool. But I don't know. I don't know that there's anything new. I just think it's a great sign that maybe we're ready for new mints and for that season to kick off. And man, that's what I've been itching for. Like, as great as things have been, we are not back yet until we see stuff like this popping up every day.
That's right.
We're not actually like I love the tweet about the ETFs aren't actually approved until Elizabeth Warren comes out and says that it's all awful still or something like that. But yeah, no, we're still a long way from being back. The thing that's interesting here is what you said about Binance backing it, because apparently Binance now has a whole program and they're going to be backing a whole bunch of different projects. And so basically this is a meta that everybody's feeding into. And you've seen that with this taking off, a lot of that is the Binance backing it meta. So, or whatever, the energy, the belief, right? And so be looking out for that. That's something that we should all be looking for, is what new projects are coming out that are going to be backed by Binance, because they're all probably going to have decently successful launches.
Smart. And also couple like Tin Fun followed by this, like it's a good little stretch of hot projects. And then the crypto undeads, like, again, these are all just signs that maybe we are entering that phase again slowly, but it's good. I like seeing these, I don't want to like diminish what they are, but I like seeing this kind of project like just really pop.
Tin Fun was overtly an Asian project as well. You go to that Twitter and it was literally just, I don't know if it was Japanese or Korean. I don't think it was Korean. It was either Japanese or Chinese there on the X profile, but please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
all right. So guys, we may actually, before we get into this last piece, Huda, any quick pieces on that 5-minute kind of update that you want to bring into this combo?
Oh shoot, hang on, can we come back to it? Probably can't, but I got to pull it up and refresh myself.
Okay. All right, guys, I'll open this combo up to all of my co-hosts basically on what they've been getting into. Biggie, before we even press live, you were saying, look, I know what I want to do this year and I want to be pedal to the metal. That means doing a lot of different things on a various amount of chains, kind of spreading yourself thin, but also kind of reassessing and trying to figure out where to spend your time. So right as we start 2024, like, where are you spending a little bit of your time? I know, I'll touch on SEI and BAYC a little bit, but want to know what you're looking at.
Well, I don't want to think, I mean, yes, you'll end up spreading yourself. I'm trying not to spread myself thin. So where am I spending my time? Number one, community. This one, Moonbirds, and a couple of others that I'm very passionate about. Second of all, chains, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then a couple of like the strong L2s, let's call those the Solana, AVAXs, stuff like that. And then when it comes to like the other ones, like, just so you understand, like I'm not like degening, I'm not like bridging or like, locking up like gargantuan amounts of capital there. What I'm focusing on primarily is getting my foot in the door, as you were saying in the show, right? Which is like bridging over enough funds to buy a domain name, get maybe what I think are one or two of the top PFP projects to see what the community's like and start talking to them, see what's coming down the pipe. And obviously farming, right? Whether it's staking some of that capital there for potential farm points down the line. But that's it. Like I'm not planning to buy a ton of tokens when they come out. But at the same time, I'm not planning to dump them, or at least not all of them. That's of key importance, because I know like with the Manta unlocks and other stuff like that, you will see huge dumps there. I think it's always good to keep at least a certain amount and stake it and keep playing for what potentially can come down the pipe. But that's my approach. And we can get into like the specific chains if you want. I don't know if anybody wants to say something else.
I would like to say something else. I am going to touch on SEI a little bit here at the beginning. I know we touched on it a little bit here in the GM Web3 morning show. We didn't really get a full look at it, but I have been bringing up SEI a good amount. One thing I will say is there's an NFT meta happening right now that on that chain. So you see very much an NFT marketplace, top 20 collections probably here. There definitely is standouts within this group. And then we see new mints happening pretty much on the daily. So right now, I'm definitely I'm exposed to probably 3 of these communities: WeBump, the Colony, and Saiyans. I also have been getting involved in some of the meme coins. So this Saiyan meme coin is like the bonk of the ecosystem, if you can think about it in that way. And yeah, so there's been a couple things.
Wallet?
Compass Wallet is a very good wallet. I could drop it in the chat here for you, GIF, as well as the chat here on the right hand side. So
yeah, I tried to get Q to give us like an overview of this today, and I don't know that we got very far with it. So I'm trying to get the basics 101 here. But so because basically what Q's been focusing on, as far as I can tell, is he just feels like it's a meta. There's liquidity, there's hype and motion and movement and interest. But I was like, okay, but start from step 1. And apparently, so Fiat Fire came in and said it is an L1. You've mentioned it's somehow in the Cosmos ecosystem, that it's like Korean or
I believe it's a Korean-based team.
And I know that there's this one NFT exchange palette. I don't know if there's more to it besides that. But also it has a history. Like you said, you invested in this like a long time ago, thought it was dead, and now all of a sudden, I guess the tech's ready, or they have applications and they have products.
That was weird.
But now it's becoming a thing all of a sudden. Like it's very mysterious still. So I was trying to get like 101 details, but I'll just add to this. In terms of things that we're excited about or interested in, I am very interested in where are there new NFT ecosystems with legit creators and communities and liquidities popping up. One of the things that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about, but on Crypto Slam over the last couple days, there have been AVAX, Avalanche PFP projects in the top projects by volume for the first time I've ever seen. I've never seen that. So I'm like, holy shit, getting in on some early Avalanche PFP projects might be a move. Say it could be interesting. I'm very bullish on Base. Like somebody pointed out that, with the ETF approvals, Coinbase is going to be one of the biggest winners out of all of this. It was you? Yeah. So Q pointed out they're going to be one of the biggest winners because they're the ones that are custodying a lot of the fucking crypto. And that's their own fucking chain, dude. This year for Base, I think, is going to be insane. So like, I don't have any NFTs there, but I've got Mochi and I've got Toshi, and I've been bridging some over there. Right. So it's like, I'm very bullish on the new chains with legit ecosystems, legit products, legit teams, liquidity, etc., and trying to get in early on them.
Yeah. There's a lot to break down there. Huda, I know you were looking like you wanted to say something for that Avalanche piece as well.
I'm glad he saw it, because it's funny. Sometimes I'll put tweets out there and I would expect them to catch to some degree, because it is a project that's doing excellent, and no bites, no comments. Nobody noticed it. That there were 2 collections, like almost in the top 5, like outselling every Ethereum PFP.
Dokyo was top 5 yesterday. Dokyo was top 5,
dude, and they've been number 2 recently too. Like, they're a very legit collection. That Steady collection I had never heard of till I saw them on the leaderboard yesterday, but they seem legit as well. In the private chat here, I dropped one that I think might be the next Avalanche mint to pop, because I'm hearing all the guys talk about it that were talking about the other 2. So some alpha for our listeners here.
Now, I will caution all of this with like size correctly.
Yes.
This is speaking from my own experience from the last cycle. I took this very approach that we're all talking about right now last cycle, and surprise, surprise, not all of these projects made it, right? Like, I went ham on AVAX, PFPs, and NFTs. I can show you my wallet. You'll fucking puke. Like, just these horrific things. But at the time, they looked very promising. They didn't survive. Then there's others that did. And I'm very grateful that they have, because, again, they've provided me a whole bunch of insight into what's being built in that chain, what's surviving, what the culture's like. So when you do go off venture out into these alt chains, I'm just warning you, like, you will feel FOMO. I think the correct thing is probably to at least go into these collections or these coins with a certain portion of it designated to flipping and taking out your initial cost basis. At least do that, folks. And then you can ride the rest and see what happens, right? Like, just don't make the mistake of just going apeshit on every single coin, every single chain that you see, and every single PFP or whatever, like do try to do a little bit of research. Unless you're fucking D and you like flipping, and then go for it, dude.
The base chain right now feels like that marination process more so than any other chain that I see, man. Because really,
we didn't call out Buffalo. Buffalo was up here earlier. Shout out Buff. He was saying the Nifty Q word of the week is marinate.
Well, to me it's Q1. That is my word, because a lot of it I'm like, well, shit, like I'm doing some of this, and do I want to be exposed here, or do I want to chase the new shiny thing? And it's just time, man. It's just some of this takes a month, some of this takes 2 months, and it's just like it's going to take that long, I think. And Gif, you were talking about base and why I'm looking at Say. It's because Say has more across the board of everything, except I think TVL, which is based on some other factors. Like I was looking at DeFi Llama, and it looked like base has way more TVL, but from the activity and the sentiment on X and all this stuff is why I went to look at Say. Gif, Toshi, a couple of these base tokens, though, did see a huge bump from the ETF approval. I think people looked at that and said, okay, base, I don't know why, but most all the base meme tokens got real, nice little bumps.
Yeah, but they're still kind of just tracking sideways. Like they're still around where I bought in. We haven't seen the inflows yet, but I just think that this year base is going to be one of the biggest winners. But a couple other quick weird things that I'll throw out here. Well, let's finish the palette talk first.
We'll finish the palette talk. I can show you this research dashboard that I've been using to kind of keep track of the ecosystem GIF, but really I'm looking at the top dexes. I'm looking at the NFT market. I'm looking at the top NFTs within the ecosystem, where the free mints are, and how I'm accessing airdrops. Right. So I basically have access and done an activity on all of these platforms, so that if there's an airdrop, then I would get potential access. I've only been doing some of it. I go heavy. So like Kryptonite, I think is going to be the best liquid staking option. So I'm actually earning their Sailor token. The others, I'm putting like $5, $10. Some of it's testnet. Like some of this stuff comes from what they call a faucet that you just basically ping, and they give you testnet tokens. They'll give you like $5 in fake testnet tokens, and you start interacting with that platform. And so a lot of that's, again, maybe it'll pay off, maybe it won't, but there's no real downside to maybe interacting with it, right? If you're doing it with $5. Biggie, and I guess for you other guys that are interested, here's my two things that I'm thinking about on the Say chain right now. One, it's very interesting to me that royalties are back on Say. So you see a 5% royalty here. I think the Colony has like 10 or 9% royalty. You can go into several of these other collections and see the royalty piece.
Is WeBump just a mint pass, or what the fuck is WeBump?
So WeBump, I would say, is the absolute best collection on Say right now. Not from an artist standpoint. Like it's a pixelated freaking what am I thinking of? Sloth. It's a pixelated sloth. But from getting into the Discord, figuring out what's going on, and then the best utility gift that is going to be the whitelist that they are being offered right now, which I think happened with Bored Ape Yacht Club. I think early on in the BAYC days, they were getting whitelist access to some other mints. I can't directly remember, but I think me being in BAYC, I got access to some different mints, which is exactly what I did this morning. You can see Saiyan by Colt. This minted out this morning. It was a free mint for WeBump holders. I bought two of them, or I got two mints basically, and I instantly sold them for 140 Say each, because I don't feel like holding these to the moon or whatever you want to throw out there. But that's what I'm saying with the activity that's happening right now.
So this is when we officially announced for the first time the Web3 network launching our first PFP on Say.
Go. Yes, this is the moment. The Colony is the other top project, and then Saiyan's, I think, is for whatever reason it hasn't taken up the price. It might have to do with the supply, but I like these PFPs the best. The Saiyan tie-in is I think the most memeable, right? You have the Say network and the Saiyans, and I like the PFPs the best. I think they stand out on X, they just haven't taken that price increase. Guys, I did talk a lot there. Yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I know Huda wanted to hit some other pieces, but any last questions or comments?
Well, I think Huda's got to jump, so let's get him in here before he's got to take off.
Yeah, do me in our private chat, pull up these couple links if you don't mind for me.
I can do it.
I guess I can do it too and share my screen. I'm sorry. Either way.
No, I can do it. Give me just a moment.
Fucking amateur hour over here, Jesus.
Dude, for real.
All right. Also, we did get a comment from Quantum there saying we did get Arabian camels and Bato early ape days. So yes, there were some white listeners.
Those are some legendary collections.
All right.
Arabian camels, my friend.
All right, let's literal lightning through this because we gotta hit it.
That's it. Okay, Shadow Hats. Okay, this is all going to be Bitcoin related, by the way. But Shadow Hats is the biggest mint on Bitcoin today. But it's not like this is one of the biggest mints, period, on Bitcoin. TLDR, they have 600 shadows that they're raffling off, or I should say auctioning. If you max bid at 0.2 Bitcoin, you get entered in a raffle for some sub 1K ordinals. Sub 1K ordinals are a 0.6 Bitcoin floor. So there's tremendous upside on that for some of the rarest, like the absolute rarest ordinals you could possibly imagine. So I just want to put that on people's radar. It is expensive, but again, for sub 1Ks, you're not going to come across those easily. So that's your Shadow Mint. By the way, this is from the Forgotten Runeverse guys. So from a great team.
Oh shit!
Right?
Yeah. Nice.
So next, this guy Harto.
Mm-hmm.
He has a collection on Bitcoin called the Golden Ratio. Makes my spidey senses tingle. I really, really believe that could be the Fidenza of Bitcoin, like that tier. Very early, right? But it is different. It's got some rarity to it too, as far as what sats those are inscribed on. So people are going back and hunting through his ETH collections because that's where he started. Okay. Now the one you just had pulled up, he's actually going to be bridging that, or he's going to be teleburning that over to Bitcoin. So that's a little alpha. I got one of these a few days ago before he announced anything. And I'm super happy about it because now this will be his next Bitcoin collection. So I do want to put him on your radar. Want to mention this collection again because his other stuff is doing so well. Still, this would be his cheapest collection, cheaper than anything else he has out there. So.
Yeah, only 28 ETH in volume too.
Yes, yeah, they just yesterday started catching because of that announcement. So, and he's a dude now. He's all of a sudden a dude, and not. Yeah, I see very, very big things for him.
Mm-hmm.
Love it.
There we have it. Okay, guys, I got a bounce here.
Yep.
Wow, it felt so good being back with you. The whole damn squad here. So, can't wait for tomorrow.
Hope you see, man.
Brother.
These guys.
Have a good one.
Later. All right, Jack Sideaway saying win Nifty Q NFT and Q coin on Say. Drop into that and Q handles your Say bag. I'm in. Guys, you're giving me ideas. Careful. Don't do
look. Just all you got to do is package Qcoin as an airdrop to all the Trump NFT holders. You're fucking made, bro.
Wow,
you're in.
That's the move. Here's the last thing I'll say on this pallet piece, or just say in general. Not financial advice right now. What I would do is, and I bought around this price, so I'm not like saying, hey, I'm at 500 say, and now you're getting
in his bags.
I would just buy the wee bump. You could eventually probably sell it and be okay again, NFA, but you'll at least get a look at the ecosystem, potentially some of these new drops, and I think that's the best place to start. Dob definitely has a meme component to it. I think it has the most energy.
I like the Dobs. As far as the things I've seen, the Dobs I actually like. I think they're cool characters. These remind me more of like a Bored Apes or a Utes or something like that, right? And so if it's the first one in that ecosystem, that's kind of like an actual cool, character.
Buffalo went heavy on it just for the reason you were talking about, Gif. He was like, this feels like BAYC. I'm going to buy a shit ton of them. The colony seems to be okay as well. But yeah, the ones that I mentioned just now, I would go with.
A couple other quick weird things to throw in here at the end. Loot was up 60% on the 24 hours. I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but Loot, if y'all remember that shit, yeah, that's up. Shrapnel operators starting to move again. They're back up close to 0.3. So starting and the Shrap token up 30%.
Month of Shrap.
So Shrap might be starting to pick up steam again. We know that there's updates coming there.
End of the month.
Yeah, those are just some other weird things to throw in here. Sprinkle it in.
Yeah, I mean that's it for me on the dashboard. We were all around the industry today, so I think we did our job here.
All over it.
Yeah, Gift. The only other thing I had was that I didn't have on the dashboard, but was drop this by DP. Just different, again, to Biggie's point, just getting a little bit interested in some of these ecosystems, right? Some of them that we've talked about, we've mentioned Scroll. I think we've mentioned Layer 0. Eigen Layers come up. Kagi's big on pixels, but this gives you kind of a look at maybe potential projects that are going to do an airdrop in the future. So it's one tool that I'm using here as well. Hopefully we're giving you guys good info.
Yeah.
Smash the like, fam. Let's go. Let's get it. Appreciate y'all.
All right. For the first time ever, we're doing an NFT live. For the first time in years, we're doing an NFT live on Friday. So that's going to be exciting. So we will be here tomorrow on NFT live. Hopefully we do a great job there and it doesn't get into, I don't know if we're getting into revelations on Friday. I'm not sure.
It's got to be weird outfits, casual Fridays. Is it same time?
Should be about the same time. Yeah, I'd guess. We'll play it hard and fast here.
All right.
But that's going to be it for today's episode of NFT Live. Thank you guys for tuning in. YouTube, Twitch, X. You guys have been fantastic every day. We talk about how much your support matters because it actually does. So thank you guys for tuning in here. OVOT. I'll go around the try box here. Again, Huda, thank you for coming in here and dropping that alpha there at the end. But Biggie, what's up, brother? And then we'll finish with Gift.
Huda. Man, I'm stoked, man. Great vibes. Great way to start the year. I'll see you tomorrow. See what happens between now and then. I'm sure it'll be spicy. There's always something.
Yeah, Super Arsenal is really curious who's got Bonk. I didn't get. We talked about Bonk literally when it launched. Slept on it, faded it. But I got Ribbit and I got Bonk 2.0. So if you want to go be my exit liquidity there. Anyway, happy to be
ending
back.
the show with Bonk 2.0.
Not financial advice. I'm down bad on it. Just know that. But I guess Friday episode tomorrow. Let's have fun. I'm excited about that. Our vibe, our tribe.
Rock on.